Hi guys, मैं हूँ मले मेरे साथ there's Pranav and there's Uday and this is of course the Reverse Sweep podcast and we are back as cricket is back. India is playing the World Test Championship final in Southampton and this is the day one review. So we'll jump straight in. Obviously technically first day जो होना था that got rained off. The game started then. New Zealand wanted to bowl first. They won the toss. India started very well and then lost a couple of quick wickets, then lost Pujara as well. But by the end of the day, India were 146 for 3 from 64 overs. That was the end of technically day one of the test match, but in actual day two. So we'll start off with Uday. Uday, first thoughts about the day. Whose day it was?
I think match is poised very nicely right now. First session belonged to India. The majority of the part of first session where Rohit and Shubman, who did not have any experience of opening in England, did really well. And people did not expect them to do that well. And it was actually nice seeing how well Rohit, especially Rohit, applied himself, leaving the ball outside off. Also, the front foot defense was very nice. But again, he threw his wicket away, to be very honest. After getting a start, after making 30 odd runs, should have at least gone and scored 70, 80, if not a big 100. So that was something which did not go India's way first. But overall, first session was well balanced. But
True.
what really concerned me was approach which Pujara had for his innings, right? Probably we'll discuss about it.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
But,
Yes, we'll come to that.
Yeah,
I think.
second stage.
Sorry. Continue.
No, it's alright. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was also concerned. I mean, I think this has become a sort of a feature of Rohit overseas. We saw this happening a few times in Australia as well, and now here also. Got a great start. Looked like India were really going to be on top, but as Uday said, it's well poised now. So let's quickly take Pranav's thought, and then we'll deep dive into deeper issues. Yeah, Pranav, what do you think? Who won the game?
I think day one definitely should go to India because given the conditions, I mean, there was so much rain and there was so much talk about how Bolt and Saudi in these conditions would, bowl India out for 120 and whatnot. So, and also the ball was moving fair amount. So, two very good swing bowlers, you would expect that they would exploit the conditions better. But I think they got a little excited, especially Saudi was quite wide, and I think most of the time the movement was exaggerated after passing the stumps. I don't think Rohit or Gill had to play too many balls, and that was the real issue for them. And I think they played very positively until, of course, as Uday mentioned, Rohit poked at a ball outside the off stump, and as you say, this is his bugaboo overseas. He gets into a good position, then he kind of, I think relaxes or has a lapse in concentration and gets out. And whereas for Gill, I'm not that upset because he's still very young and he's already shown enough potential, so he will improve. But Rohit already now is 34 this year, and again, if you're going to say that he needs time to adjust and all, it's a bit of a worry. But still, I saw good signs because Rohit, the way he handled Bolt's ball coming in, he's stood a little bit beside the line of the ball and never hit his front foot in line with the stumps. So that was a good way to counter him. And of course, finally, when New Zealand got their lines right, they got a couple of wickets, and then of course Pujara. I mean, well, we'll discuss that ahead, but I think the partnership of Rahane and Kohli is very crucial right now, and they've done a good job initially. They've been slow, but I think after 99 for 3, it was important that they stabilized a bit, and Virat was slowly showing some good signs. So I think India is ahead so far with the current situation, but it will only be of any use if we can put up a good enough first innings total.
True. I think let's just jump straight into the sort of the topic that will take the most time of this episode. Pujara's approach, right? He was. I mean, at one stage, even though India had played so many balls, the game had really not gone anywhere. And if after Pujara's wicket, if Rahane wasn't able to sort of steady the ship or get some runs on the board, it could have been really bad for India. So I'll start with Uday on that. Was it? I mean, I know that's his natural game and that's how he likes to play, but Is that the right approach in away test match, especially with a chance of rain? I think today they're going to start at 3:30 Indian time, but tomorrow doesn't look good at all. Tomorrow, as in day three of the or day three of the test match, doesn't look good at all. So, with that threat, was it what is it, a productive way of playing 54 odd deliveries for 8 runs? Uday?
I think Darshil should have been part of this podcast because Darshil is a pro Pujara supporter. He would
Yeah,
have had a very
Darshil
great
is
snapshot.
on his way to Udaipur actually. So
Yes,
anyway,
that's right. So talking about Pujara, okay, so we can't really expect Pujara to change his approach, okay, because that's how he has made so many runs in his test career, and that's how he has won matches for India in past. Okay, but the thing which I observed about Pujara in these conditions, this swinging condition, is that when he goes and defending balls, there is going to be one ball which will have your number. Okay, it can't be like you can go on defending all the balls and you just expect to get force on some of the balls. No, these are swinging conditions with and you're playing top class bowling attack. You're playing Saudi, Bolt, Wagner. All right, one of the ball is going to have your number, and that's what happened when Bolt had that very nice in swinger to Pujara.
yeah.
His approach is pretty nice when we talk about Indian pitches or Australian pitches where you can wear down the bowlers and then the batsman down the order can take advantage of that. But English conditions are very different, even the New Zealand conditions. Okay, and that's where probably I think India could have. This is a very bold statement to make, but India perhaps would have done well even without Pujara. Okay, that's what I feel that we should go with horses for courses, and Pujara, to be very honest, is India's weakest link in these conditions. Take an example of Rahane. Someone like Rahane, even though his strike rate maybe is also not really great, is around 40 or 30s. But thing about Rahane is he shows intent to score runs. And that's not the thing with Pujara. Pujara will leave balls or just block them. If you see Rahane's inning yesterday, he tried playing shots even when the shots were going direct to the fielders. So that's the difference between Pujara and other batsmen in Indian cricket. Right.
Yeah, sure. And I think it's about intent as well. I mean, when Rahane plays, you realize कि अच्छा, there is a guy is pushing, even with Kohli, like that. I think I agree with Uday. I mean, not to the extent that Pujara shouldn't be part of this 11, maybe for the final, because he's, well, I mean, to be honest, if you look at stats, Pujara averages only 29 in the WTC. And despite playing almost 1500, 1600 deliveries. So he's played a lot of balls for not a lot of runs, which is what has been really to the fore in this. Pranav, do you have another opinion on this? 14 ka strike rate.
Agreement regarding the approach, because see, the thing is, just to add on what they said, in Australia, the Kookaburra ball goes bad very quickly. So therefore, if any help is there, it will be gone once the ball goes cold. And it's very hot in Australia, also places like India and even South Africa, warm conditions, so the bowlers do get tired. Whereas in England, the Duke's ball, it doesn't get old so quickly. In fact, the current batch of Duke's ball, according to Nasser Hussain, is trying to swing more after the first 10 overs, which is something unusual, but that's what's happening even in the two tests which England and New Zealand played. So the ball moves around a lot longer, and since the weather is a lot more pleasant, and of course, 12, 13 degrees, bowlers are not going to sweat and get tired. This idea of grinding down the bowling doesn't really work. And I mean, we know Pujara cannot, come out and hit 4 boundaries, 4 runs, and 4 shots. I mean, I'm not saying he should do that, but a little more positive approach always helps. Like even Virat, both him and Virat were 15 runs combined of some 95 deliveries or 96 deliveries, which is a good thing they're trying to survive a test match, and that's not really the case.
Yeah, the game actually didn't move at all from that, and that is sort of New Zealand's comfort zone as well. Yeah,
and Colin de Grandhomme, who bowls these dibbly-dobbly medium pacers, his job is to come in and just bowl and the only actual weak link in the attack. I mean, I would have liked even Virat to show some more intent, because we know Virat can play aggressively, and then if Pujara was the one holding one end up, it's okay. But here, both guys were, literally stuck. And of course, as Uday said, it's a well-known fact, if you just keep blocking a ball with your name on it, is going to get you out. And unfortunately, that's what happened to Pujara. But like I said, thankfully, Kohli got some flow going, so the scoreboard would. And of course, Rahane, the best way he plays is when he's playing his shots. And in Test cricket, he's very good because the fields are pretty much up, and he plays elegant shots, like aggressive shots, and that kind of keeps the scoreboard ticking. And yesterday he did look a bit like like a cat on a hot tin roof, because some of the shots he was he was bat and pad, had a huge gap, and he did look a little bit suspect. But maybe the initial phase he has seen it out, and hopefully whenever we get play today, they again play positively and try and put some runs on the board, because to me, with the current weather situation, the only way we can get a result is maybe if we get a 280 all out and then pull out New Zealand cheaply. So I just want the
Hmm.
approach to be better today now that they've batted so long. And yeah, that's the only thing.
Yeah, definitely. I think actually this is today is a breaking day. I mean, I think if New Zealand strike early, and especially if they get someone like Virat out early, then it'll become extremely difficult for the rest of the team. Although we have still depth, there are batsmen, there's Jadeja, there's Pant, who can counter attack and who can get those runs on the board. To the next part of this episode, what did New Zealand do wrong? Obviously, as Pranav mentioned towards the beginning, we all expected ki, okay, Saudi and bowled, great swing bowling, amazing work, and they will those 5 for 3 ka ghosts were all lingering on our minds from the semi-final, but that didn't happen. In the end, what happened was Gill and Rohit played really comfortably. Is that something New Zealand might correct today, or where did they go wrong with it?
Uh, okay, so first thing, I was a bit surprised when I saw all like 5 pacers, like four
Yeah, yeah.
pacers, and Colin de Grong in their lineup when
Hmm.
India was playing 2 spinners, right? So, considering how Southampton pitch has played in past, where it is expected to turn on day 4 and day 5, they perhaps could have gone with one of the spinners. But even when they went with 4 pacers, what happened in first 10 overs was they were not attacking the stumps. There was
Hmm.
this very nice analysis showed by Star that most of the balls were
Not
on like
hitting.
sixth
Hmm.
or seventh stump and not on the stumps. So if you're doing that in initial 10 overs, then you're basically giving a free road to the batsman to just leave the ball, get their eyes in, and then score. And even while doing so, a good thing of what which I saw of Rohit and Gilbert, they were not shy to attack. In first 10 overs, we had score of around 36-40, right? And
Yeah,
that's a really nice score in first 10 overs,
yeah.
right?
Set the
So
tone.
maybe something which New Zealand changed, I think, after 10-15 overs was they started attacking stumps more.
Hmm.
So I think that is something which they should try and do even today. And there's a reason why I said this match is well poised, is because if New Zealand can get 1 or 2 quick wickets, then we will have Rishabh Pant and Ravindra Jadeja in, and anything can happen from that stage, right? So
True.
it's very important for India to continue the approach which they had in last session yesterday, where they are not too loose with their shots, but at the same time, it's very important for New Zealand to continue with their line and lengths and be very spot on where they're balling.
Yeah, I think New Zealand. One thing that we all know, ki New Zealand will learn from day one and come back really strong today as well. And it has been drizzling, by the way, just before the start of play on the current day, second day. And I mean, there will be chances of some movement, and I think India really need to keep track of that. But on to the final part. I mean, obviously this will be a short episode because we want to move on and do it daily. uh, Last part was, what did Indian bowlers learn from this? Obviously we haven't seen any spin, so we can't really judge how what would Jadeja and Ashwin get from this wicket. But from the pace bowling perspective, I think the most threatening in a way was, or the most sort of disciplined and who didn't give anything away, was probably Colin de Grandhomme to a certain extent. So, what did Indian bowlers, when they come out to bowl, Ishant, Bumrah, and Shami, what do they have to learn, or what do they do to get New Zealand out? Because bear in mind, it could be a 4 day, 3.5 day test match. There are all chances of that happening. So, Pranav, we'll start with you on that.
So I think, as you can see, the issue for the Kiwi bowlers was that they were probably thinking that they would, try and bowl these banana type in swingers, or move the ball from well outside, and try and catch the Indian batsman by surprise. And of course, doing that, they wasted the new ball. And maybe after a while, they corrected their lines. I think it's a good lesson for the Indian bowlers, because very often when we've gone abroad and we've seen a wicket that's helpful, Indian bowlers have had the habit of getting very excited and trying all trying to bowl the Hollywood ball or the the Jaffa kind of deliveries. Now
Hmm.
Southampton, this pitch, one thing you have to note is that Southampton has a sand-based outfield like a lot of English grounds, and so the ground drains very well. Despite all the rain, the outfield was still
Yeah.
quite good,
Was
soggy but still
okay.
quite good. And
Hmm.
yeah, and the pitch also didn't have a whole lot of grass on it because the hover covers also keep the pitch warm. So the pitch always stays nice and firm. And Southampton has always got very good bounce, as we even saw in India's opening World Cup game against South Africa. And even Star Sports showed a graphic of India, New Zealand, and Southampton. Southampton had more bounce than even a Kiwi pitch. So India has Ishan Sharma, who's a tall bowler, and Shami and Bumrah Shami also. All of our three pacers are predominantly guys who like to hit the pitch more rather than swing it. So maybe that is the way to go about it because look, there'll always be some swing here and there. So it's important to keep the right line and length. And given that our pacers have got more pace, maybe we can use that. I mean, Pujara and Rahane got smacked from one from Jameson, one from Wagner, and both of them have got good bouncers. So that's something to
Hmm.
keep in mind. And main thing is that keep it simple and not get too excited by what they see even today morning. The key is just to keep the right line and length, fourth stump, fifth stump, around that line, and try and make the batsman play. As far as spin goes, as the king Shane Warne, who's played so many years at Hampshire, said,
Yeah.
if it seems it spins. So day 4 and 5, with the drainage and with the pitch showing hopefully some amount of wear and tear, you will see Ashwin and Jadeja have some help. Even if it doesn't turn, the fact that there's bounce always helps spinners. And Ashwin being tall should use it. And as far as Jadeja goes, it doesn't matter if it is spinning or not. He bowls like a machine ball. Like a machine. He bowls the same line and length, and that is
Yeah.
his key, his accuracy. Ashwin should be able to use the bounce in the pitch if it comes to that. Actually, let's see if we can get that much cricket in. But key is to try and be disciplined, which I think of all the three bowlers, I think Ishant is the best at that right now amongst us, who's both discipline, line and length. And yeah, and see, Kiwi batsmen, as good as they are, even they are suspect against the moving ball. So just keep the right line and length going, and I think we can skittle them out for a low total if we do that.
True. I think Kyle Jamieson was very tight. I think India were very cautious.
I think
Uh,
he was the best bowler actually
Yeah, I
yesterday.
agree. I agree. I think I did. Grandom Jameson slipped my mind. India were very respectful to him. They weren't really. I mean, or I could put it either way. Probably Jameson was too good for them, and that makes me hopeful about Ishan especially, and even Shami to some extent. Even Bumrah. I think all our three bowlers will extract pace and bounce and carry on this surface. It's just about keeping the right lines, and I think the initiative has been handed to India because New Zealand didn't do really too well with the new ball, but now that I mean, I think we need to get to 300, and I think that is what India would be looking at. So, closing comments. I think we've discussed enough about the day one. As we are recording this, the second day is about to start in around 15 minutes. Hopefully, we get a full day's play, 98 overs play, because the forecast for the next couple of days does not look too good. So, final closing comments. Where are India ahead? Who do you think is going to nail it, or is it going to be a shared trophy? I mean, what do you think? We'll go
I
to
think
Uday first. Yeah.
Matthew's well poised, and India should target and get a score around 320 or 350. I think that kind of score would be par or above par. And if India can get to that score, then the onus will be on New Zealand to try and come back to the match because India will have an upper hand if they can score 300, 350. Talking about conditions, yes, the forecast is not really great for next couple of days. So the focus should be on getting the runs as well as getting those runs quickly. And then perhaps I would like to see New Zealand come and play few overs later today. And
Yeah.
probably if India can get a couple of wickets before end of the day, then that would be advantage India.
Yeah. If we can get Williamson out today before end of play and have like 300 or type ka lead, then I think we'll probably be well ahead into this game. Pranav, your closing thoughts?
Yeah, I think if India can double their score and end on that, India will be in complete, not complete control, will be well ahead in the game because I don't see this pitch currently, or even the conditions that it being an extremely high scoring game. So even if India gets in that much and gets bowled out, we will have enough time. At least we have a go at New Zealand, and we don't know actually how much the rain is going to affect the next 2 days. I mean, tomorrow maybe the forecast will be even better than today. Who knows? So I guess India getting a good enough first competitive first inning score will put India ahead, but I think given the situation, it might just end up being a shared trophy. So
Yeah.
let's hope
But
we get a result. Let's hope.
one very important thing which I feel, and obviously we have to tread with caution, but the new ball would be due in around 15 overs, right? These 15 overs means that India might want to capitalize and get some extra runs, so that they are, yeah. So I think it's a tough situation to be in. I think it's a very good, from what I saw on the television, the visuals. It is a very good time to be a pace bowler. There will be movement, but obviously the conditions are same for both teams, and our batsmen are well more than equipped to handle that. So yeah, I think anyone else wants to add anything, or I think the action is just about to begin now. So anyone else wants to add anything? Uday, Pranav?
I think we should just go switch on the TV and watch the World Test Championship.
Yeah, yeah, and
So,
exactly. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll be back obviously throughout this test match to bring updates and our thoughts on where we are headed. And hopefully, we see Virat Kohli and the Indian team lifting the World Test Championship, the first ever team to become a team which has won 4 different ICC tournaments. So history is on the cards, but uh, not getting too hopeful because it might jinx us. So thanks for watching, guys. Please do subscribe, share this with your friends, all your sports fans, and stay safe wherever you are. Thanks for watching.